Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you, and I am working with Flair from a Flair for Buttons today. Today is day 23 on my December daily. I am getting closer and closer to getting it done. This happened to be the day that we had my family Christmas, and as you know, this is the first Christmas without my dad. And so I had a little bit of journaling there that I wanted to share. And so I decided to make this a two-page layout. This is a photograph of my family and then that we took that day. And then this is a photograph of a special gift that my mom made for each of us, each of her kids. And this is my grandson, a little happy for the day. So what I've done ahead of time is I made that I just cut that piece of paper there. I think it's about 3 inches by 7, something like that, except for it's doubled, so it's more like 6 by 7, something like that. And then I have it folded in the middle. And so I'm going to add my journaling to that. There, you can see how it's folded. I decided not to, I'm going to stitch around it, but you'll see I do that off camera and I do it with it not glued together yet because I want it to look good on both sides. Sometimes when I sew, one side doesn't look as good as the other side, so it's probably user error, but I think I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna sew around it, and I do that off camera, but so I'm trying to decide. The only thing I had determined at this point was that I needed to use those numbers and that I wanted to make this 2 pages, but none of the ephemera stuff has gotten picked out yet. So I'm going to spend some time kind of, or the design, I don't even know which page my um, photos are going to go on or whatever. So I kind of wanted to use that joy banner. A couple of different reasons. One, it has some of that kind of a craft color on it, which kind of reminds me of the wood grain paper. It's about the same shade, and I just thought that would be kind of a nice tie-in. So I kind of wanted to use that. I don't think I end up using it at all, but then I really liked this tag because it's that same color, but it says December 25th on it, and it's not December 25th, it's December 23rd. Even though it's our family Christmas, it wasn't on Christmas Day. So I'm just kind of going through and trying to find some things that might work out. I've used a lot of tags in this project, but I still have some that I've made and some left that I haven't used yet. And so I'm pulling those out as well, just thinking about possibly using some of those. And then I find this card, and for a while, this card or this card I think is going to make it, but it doesn't end up making the cut in the end. But it says, I forget, like holiday wishes, I think, on it. Um, I wanted to put something family related kind of over on the left side with the family photo, and then not much over on the right side because I'm going to use 2 photos. But I still, at this point, thought I was going to use that joy banner, and I don't end up doing that. But the other piece I need to decorate is the back side of this tag. I need to decorate that in some way so that it's not just plain. So those are kind of my tasks at hand, and I am kind of having a hard time, and I think part of the reason I was having a hard time is because I was really kind of attached to that joy banner, and so I was trying to figure out how to use that. Then I went back over to grab on the, oh, what is that called? Good grief. The chipboard. There were these 2 words and they were black, which I liked because I do have some kind of black behind that photo. A lot of us are wearing black in the photo or dark colors, and I like the look of black and red and white all together like that. And so these words I thought were perfect too because they say peace and then the other one says and love. And I thought the photograph of the present from my mom deserved a piece because it's kind of like, we have to be at peace with not having Dad there. So, excuse me. So, I thought that word fit, and then and love is a good, positive thing, and I do love that grandson of mine, and so it was nice to see that maybe paired with that photograph. So let's see. So these are some gold shapes that I haven't used yet. I hadn't even opened, and this came in. I've used a lot, not so much on this layout, but in a lot of my layouts for this whole entire book, I've used a lot from the Holiday Hipster kit, which was available with from Click Kits, and these came in that kit, so I'm not really sure like where they came from. I don't know if it was just something they found and added, or if it was part of a collection of some type. Other than that, I've also been pulling in a bunch of different like past crepe paper collections, and of course the current one that came in the Holiday Hipster kit. Um, so now I'm going to work a little bit more on these tags, and I end up taking away the card in the process, and just going with tags here in a little bit. So let me read you the journaling. The journaling is typed up, like I said, and I've been pretty honest through this journey. And I've been looking for joy. So if you've watched my whole series, December Dailies series, I have been trying to find joy, and that little stamp that says joy has made it into my December Daily a few days. I'm going to end up covering up the December 25th with that joy is. So, and you'll see how that comes together here in just a second. So my journaling says, I'm just going to say it, how family Christmas is here and Dad is not. There, done. My mom had something up her sleeve though. She made shadow boxes for each of her children. Each contained items that represent the things Dad loved: a pool ball, a golf tee, and then it also included items that belonged to Dad. My shadow box included the last thing my dad carved out of wood, one of his money clips, and his father's Braille pocket watch. Tears were shed. Once we got that out of the way, we opened presents with the kids, ate some food, and played the number game for the adult presents. Hashtag we made it through. So that journaling will be there on that tag. And then the joy is, I'm adding a little bit of stitching right to that tag. And then I also add some more stitching off camera here in a bit. But so it'll say joy is family, which I thought was perfect. So those letters are letters that came in the Holiday Hipster kit as well. I used them, I think, on day one, as a matter of fact. Sorry for the camera shake there. Every time I use that punch, I put it back where I store it, which happens to be in the same location as the camera tripod thing, so it moves it. All right, so I'm going to go with the two tags together like this. The joy is, and then go into family there. And then off camera, I'm going to stitch through the red tag. I'm also going to stitch through the word family. And I think that happens here in a second. And then when I come back, that side is pretty much finished. I need to glue down a few things, but I do find a black word to go over on that side to kind of mimic the words from the other side. So you'll see that here coming up. Oh yes, of course, I've got to put tissue paper behind things. So I'm going to put tissue paper between all three of my photos for this spread. As usual, it's just another layer for me. I just like how it softens around the photo. I feel like it makes the photo stand out a little bit more as well. Sometimes I rip it, sometimes I cut it, and I never do it perfectly. And that's just kind of my style. It's just the way I like it. Okay, so that is almost done over on that side. I still haven't glued down my photo, but now I'm going to work a little bit on this kind of half of the spread as the tag, and then also the other two pictures. So that top picture is a photograph of the shadow box that my mom made for me. And then the bottom picture, like I said, is my grandson. So I thought maybe I should add another tag just for fun. And then I was like, well, maybe this Merry and Bright could end up being a tag as well. So I think I cut that Merry and Bright from maybe even from a tag, or maybe it was from a card, like a 3x4 card, and didn't end up using it. I used another part of that tag or card or whatever it was on an earlier late. I kind of can't remember, but I saved the Merry Bright because it still worked perfectly, and I like the saying Merry and Bright, so I thought I might end up using it, and I'm glad I saved it because I really like. It's another pop of the black and white, which works well with all the red. So on the tag in the center, I'm just going to have the number 23 and then those tags, and that's going to be my main items on that page. And then I went back to this black and white paper that I used to back my photo on the left, and I'm going to back both of these photos as well, just to kind of tie it all together and have another pop of black. So, and then of course those words. And so I have those little snowflakes that I have put underneath each of those words. So let's see. Glue down those giant numbers. Those numbers are throughout my whole December daily. And if you have been watching, you will know that I've had some struggles trying to get them on the page ever since it went double digit, but this one worked out. So what I just cut out there was from that same paper, that same black paper that I have behind my photos. It's just full of a bunch of different words, and I cut out the word gather because I thought that kind of fit to go with that picture of the family. And so it's not chipboard, but it doesn't matter. It's still the same kind of type. It's still black and white, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to cut this. I didn't have enough snowflakes of these fun snowflakes to put 2 on that page, but I wanted to, so I just hid them behind the tag. Then I'm back over on the other side, and I'm going to add that and glue everything down. I'm going to add some thread because that's what I do, and I decided to just add some red thread behind. I think I ended up doing behind each of the black words, kind of like that corner of the photograph, and of each of the 3 photographs, and then behind this piece of flair. I toyed with a couple of different flairs. I knew I wanted a piece of flair that had a cardinal on it because cardinals are supposed to represent a missing loved one, and when you see a cardinal, supposedly that's someone who is looking over you, or that's what they say. So I thought, since Dad was missing, and he's really not the only one, frankly, my granddaughter, is also missing, but from this family celebration. And we had some people there that have not passed away that couldn't come too. But this cardinal is really meant to represent kind of my dad watching over us. And so I end up just using the one, partly for design reasons, but also because it's my dad and I just wanted one. So that's what I ended up doing. So what Flair is great. It's in the Watercolor Winter Flair. I think I'll have that linked below for you to see. And there's a close-up coming up here where I'm almost finished. So I decided it looked a little bit plain, so I decided to go ahead and just stamp the date and put it by the number 23. I've done that on a few other pages, and I feel like it adds just a little something to the page, and I just like that little pop of white with black. So I am finished. So here are the close-ups coming up here. That's the full page spread, and this is what it looks like when you flip the tag over. And then here comes the, there you go. There. Isn't that a wonderful watercolor Flair? I love it so much. There's the rest of it, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you again in the next video.